Hi guys, let's take a scenario where you ask your coding agent to interact or to work with an API. And have you noticed most of the times that it just returns you outdated endpoints or messes up with the function parameters, or it just returns you the function signature that has been deprecated. I'm sure all of you might have faced this, and I've faced this myself a lot of times. This is not a bug, it's a systematic issue with agents called agent drift, where the agent that has been trained on certain data, the training data, and the reality that we are in right now, there's a gap between the training data and the reality. Worry not, there's a solution to this. Andrew NJ came up with an open source tool called Context Hub that solves this exact issue for us. So let's dive into it. So this is the open source tool called Context Hub. Basically, Context Hub allows you to get access to the curated version documentation, not specifically you, but for recording agents. You can think of it like NPM for docs, but for AI agents. So Context Hub is available as a CLI tool. As you can see, Context Hub is all open source and we can check out the APIs. So currently they support all these APIs. Everything is hand curated, just markdown files. So let's go to Claude API and then JavaScript. You can see this doc.md file. And this is how it is done for all the other APIs out there. Of course, this list is not very big, but whatever is there, it just works. And of course, it's an open source project. Feel free to contribute for any of the APIs that you want to. One interesting thing to note here is it's not just a tool that your agent will use, but the AI agents will actually annotate these in docs and they will remember it in the future sessions. So it's like you are building a knowledge base for AI agents for docs. That's really the future that we're going towards. I'll show you guys in some time how we can use it. It's basically language specific. It supports either JavaScript or Python. And then you can just read about this, check the code if you're interested in. It tells you the difference with and without using Context Hub. And we will see all of that in action. Enough of talking. Now let's see it in action. Let's take an example. Let's say write a Python script to call OpenAI's latest model. I'll change the permissions to auto accept edits so it doesn't ask me for permissions again and again. So this is the result that we got. We got client.char.completions.create. Now let's try this with Context Hub and see if there's any issue with this or not. I'm sure many of you might have already noticed the issue. Now let's call the API using the Context Hub CLI tool that we have. Now let's see what this will cook for us. Perfect. It says I don't have any information about the CLI tool. So this time let's try to give it the GitHub repo. Here is the GitHub repository. Use it and fetch the same API using the Context CLI tool. Okay, now let's see. We have given it some information about the CLI tool. And now if you see, in the output, it's actually doing an npm install for this tool called Chub. And now it's searching for this open AI API that we asked for. You can clearly see the Context Hub recommends using the responses API. So instead of the earlier one that we got, which is old, we are getting responses.create, which is as per the latest model. As you can see clearly that the agent earlier was hallucinating, like it was doing a web search, but it was not accurate. But with Context Hub, it was able to get the accurate result. So this really does help in fixing the agent hallucination when it comes to the documentation for APIs and APIs in general. Now, if we take a moment and talk about how is it different from just a web search that we do. So this is different in the sense that it is curated. It is not scraped. So all the docs that you see are being hand-picked and curated. Remember the doc.md file that I've shown you? And then all of it is versioned. So that's another thing. And you can fetch according to the language that you want, which will result in less usage of token. And then the best thing about this is since the agents keep on annotating and giving feedback on the documentation. It's like it's self improving in the way that the docs get better over time. And all the annotations that the agent is doing will survive across all the sessions that we have. So it's not like if I asked it to do something in one session and I switch to another session, it will forget what happened in the past. So the memory is persistent in that manner. And these are some of the features that makes it really cool. If you're somebody who might have used similar tools like Context 7 and wondering what's the difference, let me know if you want a video in the comment section and I'll try to create it. And this is it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.